And welcome everyone to this fourth and final game between the AC Dolphins and the Vineland Blitz. This game will be between the JV teams between the AC Dolphins and the Vineland Blitz. Once again, we are here at Gittone Stadium in Vineland, New Jersey. My name is Brandon Hurston, bringing you the action for BFA Sports. And once again, you're watching BFA Live Streams presented by RK Chevrolet, our good friends over there. As well, also another shout out to Paramount DesignWorks. Once again, this is the fourth and final game between the AC Dolphins and Vineland Blitz. In the Pee Wee game, or the first game, the taxi game, AC Dolphins won that one. In the second game between the Pee Wee teams, the AC Dolphins won 33-0. And in the varsity game, the AC Dolphins won that one as well with a final score of 39-0. And now the JV team for the Vineland Blitz will try to change their fortune against the AC Dolphins here today. As the horn sounds, first quarter action, first half action will be underway shortly. If you're just tuning in, it is a beautiful, beautiful Sunday afternoon for football here at Vineland, New Jersey. Sure, it's also a beautiful day over there, the short way over by RK Chevrolet. Captain's meeting has concluded. The referees are near the logo for the Fighting Clan here at Vineland High School, which is the home of the Fighting Clan, once again at Gittone Stadium. For the Vineland Blitz, they're going to have a big challenge ahead of them. It has been a really difficult day for the Blitz going up against this Dolphins teams of trying to get some offense going. They've seemed to be mismatched at the offensive line, at the line of scrimmage. A lot of the times the AC Dolphins just have been able to get past the offensive linemen for the Vineland Blitz and has created no room to work with for the quarterbacks or running backs for Vineland. And of course, Atlantic City on offense has just been just as good as they have been on defense. On offense, we've seen a healthy attack from the run game from the AC Dolphins. And of course, I was talking about it earlier with broadcast partner Al, how at this level you're going to see a lot of running attacks, whether it's at the varsity level or at the taxi level, Pee Wee or JV. Just not a lot of throwing action here at the youth level. Not a lot of quarterbacks have developed that arm yet. Just haven't been able to get these kids to practice enough of these plays, successful wide passing plays, I should say. That's why they rely so heavily on the ground game. And also they rely so heavily on the ground game because these kids, they're super fast. They are agile. They are athletic. They are able to find the hole, and then once they've seen that open space, they were able to take it all the way to the house. Atlantic City is repping the all-black uniforms with a white stripe going across the black helmet. So black shirt, black pants for Atlantic City and for Vineland. As you can see, black pants with the red striping, white shirt. And Vineland will be kicking off to get this game started. They'll be kicking off to Atlantic City. We've seen kickoffs from all three levels at Pee Wee, varsity, and JV now. Of course, no kicking at the taxi level. Those young guys haven't developed the leg just yet. As the ball is thrown out onto the field, it'll be the game ball that they'll get to the kicker. We do have the roster and the names and the numbers for the Vineland Blitz JV team that will be bringing you throughout the broadcast. However, we do not have the names and numbers matched up. Roster given to us for the Atlantic City Junior Varsity team. There are names on the back of the JV jerseys for Atlantic City, so I'll try to bring you those as I see them. A little onside kick, it looks like, almost, to get the game started. It's not going to roll past the 5-yard mark. And they will not attempt another kickoff, so the ball will be spotted at the 45-yard line for Atlantic City to get this game started off. And something we've seen from the Atlantic City teams throughout all 4 levels is they love to strike early. They love to put up quick points on the board in their first possessions, and it usually doesn't take them often with the run game. And excuse me, I thought the names would be on back of the Atlantic City jerseys, but it actually just reads AC Dolphins, so we won't have the names for the Atlantic City team. As number 2, the running back, takes a handoff and is met at the line of scrimmage. Good tackle by number 82 for the Vineland JV team. That's going to be Ruiz with a good tackle to start this game off. So it will remain, or it will be 2nd and 10 for Atlantic City. And of course, if you're listening from the AC Dolphins side, if you have a roster with the names and numbers, we would appreciate that. We would love to give these kids a shout out for all the hard work they put in, for all the talent they have out on the field. As number 9 for Atlantic City will take the snap. He'll hand it off to number 2. Number 2 finds a hole and then is met by 2 Atlantic or Vineland defenders, and he's brought down. It's going to bring up a 3rd down. And the ball is going to be spotted at the 42-yard line, so a gain of 8 right there. It's going to be 3rd and 2, 3rd and short for Atlantic City. I imagine they go back to the ground attack here on a 3rd and short. Number 9 sets up underneath the center, hands it off to number 3, runs into one of his own teammates as well as a Vineland defender. I believe they're going to mark him short of the 1st down. Yes, they will. It's going to be 4th and 1 for Atlantic City. This is a big play early here in the 1st quarter. I know only 6 minutes still remain here in the 1st quarter, but if Vineland can get a stop here on the 4th and 1, that would do a lot for them momentum-wise, especially considering how the other 2 games before them have went. So I'm sure Vineland would love to come up big with a stop here. The snap and the handoff. Number 6 takes it, and he'll take it past the line of scrimmage for a 1st down. It's going to be 1st and 10 now for the Atlantic City Dolphins. So Vineland Blitz had an opportunity to stop Atlantic City right there, create a turnover on downs, but just too big at the line is Atlantic City, and they were able to carve out some room for the 1st down. So now the ball is at the 31-yard line. The quarterback, number 9, takes a snap, hands it off once again to the running back, number 5. Nice juke moves. Try to spin move on the defender, number 82, Ruiz. Was brought down to the ground by Ruiz, but a good run play from number 6 right there. Was once again able to have a great run. Made some defenders miss. Set his team up with better field position as they continue to march down the field. The ball is going to be placed at the 22-yard line. It was a 1st down on that last run. 9 with the snap, hands it off to number 2. An 8 or 9 yard gain right there on the run. Could it be enough for a 1st down? No, it's going to be 2nd down. 2nd and short, I can imagine. As 4:10 remains here in the 1st quarter. Still a 0-0 ball game between these 2 JV teams. Number 2 and number 6 are in the backfield for Atlantic City. 9 sets up underneath the center. It's a fake handoff to number 2. Now a throw down the field. It was a throw from the quarterback number 9 to the wide receiver number 3. The throw was a little bit short for number 3, bounced in front of him, unable to cash in on a touchdown right there. Would have been a touchdown if quarterback was able to deliver the strike to number 3. And that was a great design play right there from the Atlantic City JV team. Fake handoff, play action, rolling out to the right, finding the receiver across the middle, just a little bit short of a throw. Wouldn't be surprised if they try that later on in the ball game. And now the play is going to be a whistle on the play. False start on the offense, so it's going to bring back the Atlantic City offense a little bit. So what would have been about 3rd and 4, now going to add some extra yards to this 3rd down conversion attempt. The ball is placed at the 15-yard line. And 9 takes a snap. Hands it off to number 6, and he's immediately met by number 1 for the Vineland Blitz defense, Aiden Zinkgraf. Zinkgraf with a great stop right there to fill up that hole, meet the running back in the hole, and bring him to the ground. He'll keep the ball at the line of scrimmage around the 15-yard line. The 15-yard line for Vineland. So now this is going to bring up 4th down. The snap and the handoff to number 2. He is tackled. Some good tackling from the JV defense so far. This one marked at the 8-yard line, so it's going to be a turnover on downs, and that's going to bring out the Vineland offense. So costly penalty for the false start that turned a 3rd and 4 to then a 3rd and 9, and which ultimately led to the 4th down turnover. And now the Vineland JV offense will take the field for their first action of the game. Looks like number 3 will be the quarterback wearing the play calls on his wrist. Number 3 is Daryl Samuel Jr. Samuel Jr. with the handoff to number 1, Zinkgraf. Zinkgraf finds room on the outside, and he carries it for a gain. So nice little run from Zinkgraf to get the offense going for Vineland. And Zinkgraf, the running back, number 1, really towers over the rest of his team. He is standing tall in the backfield. Samuel fakes the handoff to Zinkgraf, then hands it back to the halfback. Halfback takes it for a little bit of a gain. The running back for Vineland is number 34, Noah Kinsey. To bring up a 3rd down and 5. The snap and now the toss to Kinsey. Kinsey takes it to the outside. He's got the 1st down past the 25-yard line, and a great run from Noah Kinsey right there. And the JV offense looking pretty good to start off this game for the Vineland Blitz. We saw at the varsity level the Vineland offense was really stagnant. Just couldn't get anything going against that stellar defense for the Dolphins. But the Blitz for the JV team having a little bit of early success. The handoff from Samuel Jr. to the running back Zinkgraf, who is carrying players for a gain. Zinkgraf takes that one to the 38-yard line, and they're actually going to rule it a fumble. Zinkgraf lost the ball at the end. I thought he was already down. An Atlantic City defender came up with it, but once again, I thought Zinkgraf was down, and I thought it was going to be positive gains for the Vineland Blitz, but it is ruled a fumble, and Atlantic City will take over with great field position. And that's very, very unfortunate for the Vineland offense. They seemed like they were really moving the chains on the ground. Great job from Zinkgraf and Kinsey. Kinsey with the big run on that possession, but now Atlantic City has ball. Number 9 hands it off to number 3. Positive gain. Coaches from Vineland yelling about something. Good carry for Atlantic City right there. And now a timeout has been called by Vineland, or excuse me, Atlantic City. So with a timeout called, we're going to take a quick step off, but once again, you are watching BFA Sports on BFA Live Streams presented by RK Chevrolet. We'll be back in just a bit.
Truckloads of new Subarus have just arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. Our new state-of-the-art facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus are here. Come in now for a great selection. New RK Subarus with 0% financing. Ascent, Outback, Legacy, Forester, Impreza. 0% for 63 months. And you get RK coverage, no charge. Our new facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus have arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. MyRKSubaru.com.
And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to this BFA Sports broadcast on BFA Live Streams, presenting you JV football between the AC Dolphins and the Vineland Blitz here in Vineland at Gittone Stadium. It's again brought to you by RK Chevrolet. My name is Brandon Herson, and before the timeout, Atlantic City was able to come up with Vineland turned the ball over. Atlantic City was able to come up with a fumble recovery. It gave them possession around the 30-yard line. And now it is second down for Atlantic City. It was a timeout called by Atlantic City to talk some things over on the offensive end. It is still tied 0-0 with 1:38 left to go here in the first quarter. Number 9, the quarterback, sets up, snaps it, hands it off to the running back. The running back with a couple yards, but then is met by Vineland defenders and is brought down to the ground. And this JV team for the Vineland Blitz is doing a great job of really not allowing any holes for the running backs for Atlantic City to possibly explode through, find some open grass, and find the end zone. They're doing a great job of plugging everything up and not allowing Atlantic City to really get that offense going and really get the ground game going, which we know is how Atlantic City makes their money. And 9 takes the snap, fake hands off, jet sweep to number 3. 3 takes the ball, bounces it to the outside. He's at the 20 and is tackled. Thought he was tackled, was bounced back, remained on his feet. And the running back number 3 remains the only one on his feet as everyone else around him finds themselves on the ground. And the player for Atlantic City, number 3, not the biggest kid in the world, but he was taking those hits and having defenders bounce right off of him. He was standing strong in that huddle. That was good enough for the first down, so it's going to be 1st and 10 for Atlantic City. They're around the 20-yard line. It's a handoff to number 2. and is tackled by number 89, Richard Jameson, the junior, and that will end the first quarter here in Vineland. The score is still tied at 0 apiece between these two junior varsity teams. We're going to take a quick step off, and when we will get back, it will be second quarter action underway. And once again, you're watching BFA Sports, brought to you by RK Chevrolet.
Truckloads of new Subarus have just arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. Our new state-of-the-art facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus are here. Come in now for a great selection. New RK Subarus with 0% financing. Ascent, Outback, Legacy, Forester, Impreza. 0% for 63 months. And you get RK coverage, no charge. Our new facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus have arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. MyRKSubaru.com.
We have a good ball game underway here at Gittone Stadium between these two junior varsity teams in Vineland Blitz and the AC Dolphins. The first quarter was scoreless between these two teams as the second quarter begins. Atlantic City will have the ball on offense. My name is Brandon Hurston, and once again, you're watching BFA Live Sports, or BFA Sports on live streams. Once again, big thanks to RK Chevrolet, our sponsor for the game, our good friends over there. It's once again an evenly matched up game between two junior varsity teams. We saw a lot of good running from both the Dolphins and Vineland. Unfortunately for Vineland, they did have that fumble on their first possession where it looked like they really were moving the chains very well. So it was unfortunate that they did cough up the fumble right there and set up Atlantic City with good field position. But so far, the defense for Vineland has really held up in this one, doing a good job of neutralizing the athleticism and skill set of the AC Dolphins. And now with the change of the quarter, Atlantic City and the Vineland will march their way towards the opposite end of the field as they switch sides for the quarter. Another thing we've noticed from Vineland is they've done a good job with their tackles. To end the quarter, we saw a great tackle from Jameson Jr. It's going to be second and about 10. Number 9 takes a snap. Fakes the handoff to 6, throws it to number 2, and a little bit over number 2's head. It was a great play design once again, and it would have worked if 9 could have delivered a strike to number 2, but 9 did have a lot of Vineland defenders in his grill. So great job of the Vineland defenders to get into the backfield, disrupt that play action pass, and force an incompletion. So it'll be 3rd and 9 with about 7:55 to go here in the second quarter. Here at the junior varsity level, they play 10-minute quarters. Atlantic City is at the 20 with a 3rd down and 9. The quarterback with the snap. Hands it off to number 6, but is immediately swallowed up in the backfield. That's going to be number 1, Aiden Zinkgraf, with the amazing tackle behind the line of scrimmage to hold Atlantic City for a loss. And that will force a fourth down situation. So Zinkgraf, we've already seen the versatility from him early in this game. We saw him have a couple of good runs, and he's also made a couple of good tackles as well on the defensive side of things. And it's impossible to miss Zinkgraf out there on the field next to his teammates. Like pointed out, he's a tall kid out there as he lines up on the end. And the snap. 9 fakes the pass, throws downfield, and broken up by number 82, Ruiz. Yamiel Ruiz with a great tip to force the incompletion. He got up and flexed as well. Great overall play from Ruiz right there. Saved the first down and maybe possibly a touchdown as well. Great effort from Ruiz. You could see he was fired up, and that fired up his teammates as well. He was looking like a true cornerback right there on NFL Sunday. That was a great, great play from him right there. Did a great job of reading that play as well. It was a good play action pass from the quarterback number 9. Could have really fooled the Vineland defenders, but Vineland was really all over that play, and especially Ruiz. So because of that great stop and great tip pass by Ruiz, it will force a turnover on downs and will set up the Vineland offense at the 21-yard line. So 1st and 10 with 7 minutes left to go in the second quarter. The snap and handed off to Aiden Zinkraff, trying to get to the outside, but he's tackled in the backfield. So that'll be a loss on that play. Loss about 1 or 2. And number 3, the quarterback, Darryl Samuel Jr., getting direction from his head coach. He delivers the play in the huddle. Now they work themselves back to the line of scrimmage. A receiver lined up all the way to the outside on the left side. 3 running backs in the backfield. A flip and a toss, but the ball is dropped, and it's a fumble, but recovered by Vineland. That will be number 58, Daminger, with the recovery right there. So great awareness from Daminger, who was the one who lined up on the outside to fall on top of that loose ball and prevent Atlantic City from having great field position. It's going to be a timeout called on the field, and we're going to take a quick step off. Don't go anywhere. More football action coming your way right here on BFA Live Streams, brought to you by RK Chevrolet.
Truckloads of new Subarus have just arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. Our new state-of-the-art facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus are here. Come in now for a great selection. New RK Subarus with 0% financing. Ascent, Outback, Legacy, Forester, Impreza. 0% for 63 months. And you get RK coverage, no charge. Our new facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus have arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. MyRKSubaru.com.
Brandon Herson here, and welcome back, everyone. If you're just tuning in, it is a 0-0 ball game here in the second quarter with 5:50 remaining. Vineland is set up on offense at around the 19-yard line, their own 19-yard line, as they forced a big turnover on downs on the Atlantic City offense. And now they are met themselves with a 3rd and 12 after being unable to get the ball out of the backfield. Samuel drops the ball once again after a miscommunication on the snap. So Samuel Jr. just has to fall on the ball and maybe try to take it for a yard, if even. So because of the misplay on the snap right there, Vineland was unable to get their play going, which will result in a 4th and 13, a 4th and long for Vineland. They hand it off to Zinkraff. Zinkraff gets it back to around the 20-yard line, maybe for a 1 or 2 yard gain, but it will be a turnover on downs, and that will give the ball right back to Atlantic City, where they basically turned it over themselves. So now Atlantic City has a fresh set of downs and only 20 yards to go before potentially breaking this tied ball game. And I can really say these two teams seem very evenly matched. They matched up with each other very well. Although Atlantic City has been able to move the ball just a little bit more effectively. Still, like I said, 0-0 ball game, and Vineland has shown a lot of grit and strength on defense. They've not allowed Vineland or Atlantic City really to have that big breakaway. Number 9 hands it off to the running back, number 2. About a 1 or 2 yard gain before he's tackled by a bunch of Vineland defenders. And the main tackler on that one was number 1, Aiden Zinkraff once again. He's been all over on defense. And Zinkraff taking no time off. We saw him on offense, handling the running duties, and now he's right back there on defense at the defensive line, making the big stops. 4:40 remains here in the second quarter. Nine snaps the ball, and there will be a whistle on the play. Going to be neutral zone infraction on the Vineland Blitz. So that's going to move up the ball for Atlantic City on what would have been a 2nd and 9. Now it's probably going to be second and 4. Excuse me, struggling to do math. Nine minus 5 is not a hard math equation, yet I was still slow to get those numbers to you. Not a big math guy, but apparently can't even do math when it comes to sports either. Atlantic City sets up at the 15-yard line. The 2nd and 4 is another whistle, and I believe another neutral zone infraction on Vineland. Let's see what the call is, and yes, it is. I was right on that one. So it's back-to-back flags on the Vineland defense. I'm not sure if you're a head coach at any level, even though these kids out there on the field are what I just call them, kids. Still got to be frustrating to have back-to-back infractions like that, and because of that second one, it's going to result in a first down. It sets up Atlantic City with a 1st and goal because they're at the 10-yard line now. And the snap. The ball is dropped. It is on the ground. Let's see who comes up with this one. I believe they're going to rule number 51 for Atlantic City. Came up with the ball right there. So possibly could have been a turnover for Atlantic City. That would have been great for Vineland, especially as they're pinned back in their own end zone. Good stop either way. Forces a 2nd and goal, a 2nd and long, as they suffered a 2-yard loss on that play. Nine sets up at the line of scrimmage, underneath the center, snaps the ball, hands it off to number 2. He meets a defender, but number 82, Ruiz, is in there again for a big, big tackle. Almost looked like a spear right there. Great tackle from Ruiz, brought him down to the ground. Kept him at only around a 3-yard gain, so it's going to bring up 3rd and goal, a third and long, as you would say. 9 yards to punch it into the end zone. And Ruiz has been a big-time factor here in this one. Already had the great tip pass that prevented Atlantic City from converting on 1st down, and now a big tackle right there. 3rd and goal, the snap. Handed off to the running back, number 2. He finds the outside, and he finds the end zone. It's a touchdown for Atlantic City Dolphins, and they now lead 6-0 over the Vineland Blitz with 2 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. So Vineland was doing a great job of holding the line, trying to keep Atlantic City right where they were at the line of scrimmage. Had a couple of good stops, but Atlantic City was relentless with their run game. We're finally able to get some room in the backfield, allowed number 2 to bounce it to the outside, and that allowed him to find the end zone. And once again, the Dolphins lead 6-0, and they'll be attempting the extra point conversion to increase their lead. And the snap, the handoff to number 6, and he's tackled in the backfield by a bunch of blitz defenders. The main guy on that one was Aiden Zinkraff. Once again, another great tackle from Zinkraff. Holds the lead at 6-0 for Atlantic City. We'll take a quick step off as 2 minutes remain here in the second quarter. You're watching BFA Sports, presented by RK Chevrolet. Don't go anywhere.
Truckloads of new Subarus have just arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. Our new state-of-the-art facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus are here. Come in now for a great selection. New RK Subarus with 0% financing. Ascent, Outback, Legacy, Forester, Impreza. 0% for 63 months. And you get RK coverage, no charge. Our new facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus have arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. MyRKSubaru.com.
We had our first score of the game after Atlantic City was able to find the end zone after a relentless run attack against the Vineland Blitz. Atlantic City leads 6-0 over Blitz. They were unable to convert on the extra point conversion, which is why it is still at 6-0, which is a pretty important factor in this game. If Vineland is able to march it down the field on this kickoff and possibly score, and they can convert on their extra point, they would have the 1 point lead. So that's why in a one possession game like this game is, that extra point failure is very important for Vineland, because just a touchdown and a conversion of their own would give them a lead, which they would happily take. But they'll have to march down the field quickly because there's only 2 minutes remaining here in the first half in the second quarter. Once again, my name is Brandon Hurston, and you're listening to BFA Sports, or excuse me, you're watching BFA Sports on BFA Live Streams, presented by RK Chevrolet and also Paramount DesignWorks. Atlantic City is set to kick off the ball to Vineland. Kicker didn't like how the ball was situated on the tee, so he'll go back and reset. Kicking for Atlantic City is number 8. And the kick is underway. It's a squibbler that touches number 11 and is fouled on by number 33. Going to be Jordan DeGregorio. So Vineland will come out on offense, looking to tie this ball game up with just 2 minutes remaining in the second half, or excuse me, the first half. Getting a little bit too far ahead of myself. Like I said, important possession for Vineland right here. At this level, it's going to be really hard to try to march down the field with just 2 minutes remaining. Unless you can get a breakaway run, probably going to be impossible to just inch your way down the field. So they are going to need that breakaway run if they want to score. Noah Kinsey, number 34, has shown that he has some breakaway speed and breakaway ability. He had a big run in the first quarter. He lines up outside. Zinkraff lines up in the back. He'll be blocking for the jet sweep, but just too many people for him in the backfield to try to block, as number 23, Leonard Wilson for Vineland, was met by a couple of AC Dolphin defenders. Zinkraff will now come off the field, and coming on the field is going to be number 89, Jamison Jr. So Zinkgraf getting a little bit of a break, and he's been working hard all day, both on offense and defense. And with the way the clock is winding down, it will look unlikely that Vineland could march it down the field unless they get that breakaway run. The handoff is to number 89, Jamison Jr., and he powers his way through a bunch of Atlantic City defenders. Powerful run from number 89 right there, Jamison Jr. Did a good job of keeping those legs going and running through the pile. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and going to be a timeout called for Atlantic City. Atlantic City did not like what they were seeing out there on defense. So, once again, a timeout. This one is once again brought to you by RK Chevrolet and Paramount DesignWorks. RK Chevrolet, RK Subaru, our good friends just across the way here from Gittone Stadium in Vineland, New Jersey. It'll be 3rd and 5 coming up for Vineland. That timeout does stop the clock. And will allow for Atlantic City to possibly draw some plays up, try to get down the field, try to tie this one up before half. And if Vineland could tie this one up before half, it would do wonders for their momentum going into the second half. It looks like this one's going to be a close scoring ball game. So the timeout has concluded. Atlantic City marching back out towards the field. The ball is placed around the 44-yard line, 43-yard line. Once again, a 3rd and 5 coming up. The handoff to Jamison Jr. turning those legs. He won't go down, still won't go down, but forward progress will stop the play. As it got a little stagnant out there, and obviously stopped the play for safety concerns. And now a timeout called by Atlantic City. Or excuse me, Vineland. Getting my teams mixed up here. And we'll take a quick step off while Vineland goes over some things before the second quarter comes to a closure. Once again, you're watching BFA Sports, presented by RK Chevrolet.
Truckloads of new Subarus have just arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. Our new state-of-the-art facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus are here. Come in now for a great selection. New RK Subarus with 0% financing. Ascent, Outback, Legacy, Forester, Impreza. 0% for 63 months. And you get RK coverage, no charge. Our new facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus have arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. MyRKSubaru.com.
Just 46 seconds remain here in the second quarter as Atlantic City Dolphins are leading over Vineland Blitz with a score of 6-0. It is a 4th down situation for Vineland as they try to tie this ball game up before the start of the next half. But if they want to do that, they're going to have to convert here on 4th down. Jamison Jr. lines up in the backfield. The snap at the jet sweep. Good play, a gain for about 3 or 4, but it's not going to get them to that 1st down marker and will ultimately be a turnover on down. So it was a positive gain, but just not enough for Vineland. Good play call as well. But Atlantic City just had too many defenders in the middle. So now because of the turnover on downs, Atlantic City will set up at the logo around the 46, 47 yard line. And now we know at the other levels for Atlantic City, they have that ability to score on just that one powerful run, that one quick jet to the outside. Haven't seen that from the junior varsity team here in this one, but sure they have a few tricks hidden up their sleeve, and see if they can try to punch it in and increase their lead before the second half begins. The snap from number 9, hands off to number 2. A gain of about 5-6 on the play from number 2. Number 2's been an effective runner here for Atlantic City today. He was also the one that punched it into the end zone for a touchdown. The clock is stopped at 32 seconds after a timeout was called. Because we just took the timeout before, we'll keep things right here. Once again, my name is Brandon Herson, and you're you're watching BFA Sports on BFA Live Streams, brought to you by RK Chevrolet, RK Subaru. Atlantic City trying to come up with a big stop before the second half, and you can see, Vineland trying to come up with a big stop, and Atlantic City talking things over in the huddle right now. And you got to think the game plan right now is to get it to number 2, who's had a great day so far on the ground. Like I said, he was the one that scored the touchdown. Once again, apologize for not having the names correlating with the numbers for Atlantic City, but would love to give that to you and love to give the credit for the kids, but they are still working hard out there. The snap is underway, and big stop, big tackle from Aiden Zinkraff. Swallowed up number 2 right at the line of scrimmage. The clock continues to roll at 20 seconds. Atlantic City will probably only get off one more play before the second half starts. Number 9 fakes the handoff, throws downfield, and has a man open down the field at the 10 and at the 5 and into the end zone. A play-action pass, a fake handoff, and a dart down the field to number 13 allows Atlantic City to score right before the buzzer and right before the first half comes to a close. Huge play for Atlantic City right there. All game long, Atlantic City was trying to set up that play-action pass, trying to convert it successfully. They were unable to do so on the previous 2 attempts. The first throw was short, the second throw was too long, but that one from the quarterback, number 9, was right on the money. Fell right into the hands of number 13, and 13 never looked behind them. Had a wide open spot into the end zone. And now, with no time left on the clock, Atlantic City will try to convert this extra point, make it a 13-0 lead, and Vineland will look to stop them before the half. The snap and the handoff to number 6. A couple of Vineland defenders trying to bring number 6 down, and they are unable to do so. The extra point is good, and now Atlantic City leads 13-0 right before the first half ends. We will take a quick step off for halftime, but when we get back, we'll have second football action underway between the AC Dolphins and the Vineland Blitz right here at Gittone Stadium in Vineland, New Jersey. You're watching BFA Sports, presented by RK Chevrolet. We'll be back in just a little bit.
Truckloads of new Subarus have just arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. Our new state-of-the-art facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus are here. Come in now for a great selection. New RK Subarus with 0% financing. Ascent, Outback, Legacy, Forester, Impreza. 0% for 63 months. And you get RK coverage, no charge. Our new facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus have arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. MyRKSubaru.com.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to second half action, I should say, between the AC Dolphins and Vineland Blitz right here on BFA Sports, BFA Live Streams, presented by RK Chevrolet and RK Subaru, and also shout out to our friends Paramount DesignWorks. My name is Brandon Hurston, and currently the score of this matchup between these two junior varsity teams is 13-0 lead for the Atlantic City Dolphins. The Atlantic City Dolphins will be kicking off to start the second half. So Vineland will be receiving the ball, and they'll be trying to put up their first points of the day. And so far, even though the score says 13-0 for Atlantic City, it was a pretty evenly played first half of action between these two junior varsity teams. They were doing a good job of matching one another, but Atlantic City just started the ball often with too good a field position for them not to score and put up points. And the Vineland defense was doing all they can to try to create stops, especially by number 82, Ruiz, who's had a couple of great plays, including a tip pass and a great tackle. Also looking at the defensive side of things is Aiden Zinkraff for Vineland, who's been doing amazing as well on both sides of the ball. And to start off the second half, going to be flags on the play on the kickoff. See what the rulings are here, but either way, a flag out on the second half kickoff. And it looks like they'll redo the kickoff. And it will be a flag on Atlantic City because the referee will move the ball back 5 yards. So now they'll be kicking from the 35. This allows Vineland to move up and allow them to possibly start with even better fielding position than they first imagined. Kicking it is number 8, and the kickoff is underway, booted. Picked up by one of the Vineland receivers. And because his knee was on the ground when he fielded the ball, the play will be done and will be ruled dead. Fair catch. Which is great rule. I believe at this level you don't need anyone getting hurt. No kids getting absolutely pancaked by an oncoming kicking team. So good stop right there. Vineland will start with the ball at the 43-yard line, their own 43-yard line. And it would be really great for Vineland if they could score on this first possession. .758 is on the clock here in the third quarter. Plenty of time for Vineland to score twice. It will just be a matter of them getting stops as well. They're going to need a great effort from both sides of the ball, but first they'll have to get it going on offense. Snapping the ball is number 3, Samuel Jr. He'll flip it to the outside to number 34, Kinsey. Kinsey gets all the way past the 50-yard line, past the 45-yard line as well, near the 40 for a great run to start off the second half. And that's Kinsey's second great run of the game. Also had a similar run like that in the first quarter. Unfortunately, that drive ended with a fumble and a loss of possession for Vineland. But great way for Vineland to start off the second half. Kinsey getting it done on the outside. 7:30 remains. The snap to Junior. Passes it to the outside. Flips it to number 82, Ruiz. Ruiz breaks a couple of tackles, and he gets past the 45-yard line near the 30. So this offense for Vineland is moving right out of the gate. And Ruiz, number 82, when we got into the second half, was talking about how great he's been on defense, making a lot of great plays, and now right there on offense showing you just how versatile of a player he actually is. Not just a guy who only plays, or I should say kid, who only plays on one side of the ball. And the play is actually going to be called back on a flag. Excuse me. Didn't see the flag on the play. So this one's going to bring the ball all the way back to the 45-yard line for Vineland. Sorry about that if you're watching the BFA Sports live stream. So now what would have been a great one run by Ruiz is canceled out. It will be first and very long. The snap, and now the jet sweep to the outside is Kinsey once again. Only a couple yards gained on the play. This will bring up second down. It was about first and over 20 on that last play. Ball's placed at the 46-yard line. Quarterback Darryl Samuel Jr. is under center. Have two backs in the backfield. And the snap, and now the toss to the backfield, and the running back for Vineland is greeted by a bunch of Atlantic City defenders. He's swallowed up in the backfield. So now this will bring up a third and very long for Vineland. They're going to need a breakaway run to not just score a touchdown, but just to get this first down. Clock is at around 4:35. 4:35 remaining here in the third quarter. Number 2, Utley Jr. will run out onto the field and get into the huddle. Zinkraff is the lone running back in the back. Samuel Jr. with the snap, hands it off to Zinkraff, and Zinkraff was met by number 40, but bounces right off of him and now barrels over a couple more of Atlantic City defenders for a positive gain on that one. Brought it past the 50-yard line. Will make this fourth down conversion a little bit more possible for Vineland. Still a long ways to go. Probably about 4th and 16. 4th and 15 for Vineland to try to get that first down. Was talking about how important it would be for them to score on this first possession as they trail 13-0. Not a lot of time now remaining as we're winding down here in the third quarter. It would be very hard for Vineland to score twice in the fourth quarter, especially with how these two teams run the ball. Samuel Jr. underneath center. Snaps the ball, is being chased by some defenders, throws it away, and it's intercepted by number 3 on the Atlantic City team. Samuel Jr. had pressure immediately brought to his face. He was rolling to the outside, tried to launch it down the field, but unfortunately ended up right in the hands of number 3. It's going to be a turnover, and the ball is spotted at the 43-yard line with 2:48 left to go here in the third quarter. And it was a great idea from Vineland to change up the looks they were giving Atlantic City, change up the run game, and try to convert big on a fourth down opportunity. They were going to need the pass to do so. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit too far beyond the receiver and right into the hands of Atlantic City. The handoff from number 9 to number 2. He cuts it to the outside. He has room on the outside. He's at the 40-yard line, and he's grabbed from behind. Great tackle by, once again, number 82 Ruiz. He is all over the field. He is just like a magnet to the ball. He is, anytime a runner seems to break it to the outside for Atlantic City, or maybe there's a pass down the field, Ruiz is all over the place, right in the mix to try to get the stop. But it's still a big gain on first down for Atlantic City. The ball is placed at the 29-yard line, or excuse me, 31-yard line. Nine takes a snap, hands it off to number 2 once again. Stiff arm on the outside, and he'll gain even more yards on that first down run. Could be close to a first down, and I believe they are going to give him the first down, so a gain of 10 on that last play. So Atlantic City now moving the ball very effectively here in the third quarter. It's winded down the clock all the way to 1:40 remaining here in the third. And you can hear the Vineland coaching staff yelling out, fill in the holes, don't allow these runners to get any gaps to break through. It's going to be a flag on the play, going to be a false start on Atlantic City, so that will move the ball back. A good break for Vineland right there to slow down this Atlantic City offense, who has been moving here in the third quarter. That will push the ball back to the 26-yard line. Nine hikes the ball, hands it off to number 6, who bounces it to the right side. He's tackled for about a 3 or 4 yard gain. We've seen a plethora of different running backs for the AC Dolphins. And now the game clock is underneath a minute here in the third quarter. Atlantic City will probably get one more playoff before the end of the third quarter, which obviously they would not mind at all, as considering they are the one leading in this ball game, 13-0. They want to take off as much clock as possible. The snap and the handoff to number 2, the running back. He barrels in for some gains on the play. It's going to bring up a third down, and because of the penalty, they're still a decent way to go. And that will end the third quarter. So Atlantic City Dolphins still leading 13-0 over Vineland Blitz as the third quarter comes to a conclusion. We'll be right back after this short break. You're watching BFA Sports, brought to you by RK Chevrolet.
Truckloads of new Subarus have just arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. Our new state-of-the-art facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus are here. Come in now for a great selection. New RK Subarus with 0% financing. Ascent, Outback, Legacy, Forester, Impreza. 0% for 63 months. And you get RK coverage, no charge. Our new facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus have arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. MyRKSubaru.com.
Welcome back, everyone. The fourth quarter is set to begin in just a few moments. My name is Brandon Hurston. Once again, you're watching BFA Sports, brought to you by RK Chevrolet, RK Subaru, and our good friends Paramount DesignWorks, our sponsors for the game. And once again, this game taking place at Gittone Stadium in Vineland, New Jersey, between the AC Dolphins and Vineland Blitz. Atlantic City so far is leading in this junior varsity matchup. They are leading 13-0. Once again, the fourth quarter is set to begin, and Atlantic City is in danger, or excuse me, I should say Vineland is in danger of Atlantic City running up the score just a little bit more, increasing upon their 13-0 lead. They are threatening the score near the red zone. As you see kids making their way back to the other side of the field, and I should say they're in the end zone is Atlantic City, making their way back. And we're not too bad of a run, even though they're working hard, like I've been saying throughout the broadcast. Beautiful weather, nice breeze throughout the day. You see the flag blowing out near the end zone. Fourth quarter is about to begin. It's a third down. The snap to the quarterback, hands it off to number 6, weaving and juking between defenders, and he finds the end zone. He jukes himself all the way into the end zone, spins the ball at the end. A rightfully deserved celebration as number 6 punches it all the way in to increase the score to 19-0 over Vineland Blitz. And now with 7:48 remaining here in the fourth quarter, Atlantic City will attempt the extra point conversion. Number 6 just way too shifty out there on the field for Vineland Blitz defender to try to bring him down to the ground. That play was really all made by number 6, doing all the work right there. Let's see if they hand it back to number 6 for the extra point opportunity, but before they'll do so, it is a neutral zone infraction. You saw Aiden Zinkgraf come across the line right there. Would only move up the ball just a little bit as they're already started at the 2-yard line, so now they'll be even closer to the end zone. See if they run it up the middle, if they'll try to bounce it to the outside. Hand off to number 2, and he is gulped up in the backfield. Aiden Zinkgraf was all over number 2 right there. Tackled him for a loss. And the extra point opportunity is no good. And Atlantic City is still leading 19-0 over Vineland Blitz with 7:48 left to go. And we're going to take a quick step off as Vineland will set to receive the kickoff right here at Gittone Stadium. You're watching BFA Sports, brought to you by RK Chevrolet. And welcome back to Vineland, New Jersey. We are at Gittone Stadium. You're watching BFA Sports, BFA Live Streams, presented by RK Chevrolet, RK Subaru, also Paramount DesignWorks. We are underway in the fourth quarter. 7:48 remains in the fourth quarter, and Atlantic City just found the end zone once again. They lead 19-0. Vineland was able to stop the extra point conversion. That's why it's at 19. This one is fielded by Vineland. Breaking through a couple tacklers is Ruiz, hustling down the sideline. He's at the 20, he's at the 10, and he'll find the end zone. Ruiz returns this one on the kickoff, and he puts up the first points of the day for the junior varsity Vineland Blitz team. What a play by Ruiz right there. He's been active all day on defense with great tip passes, great tackles, had a couple of nice runs as well, and he breaks away for the long kickoff return and cuts the lead down from 19-0 to 19-6. And boy, once did Ruiz find the opening on the outside, and he found that sideline with nobody left in front of him. He turned on the burners. Looked like a track star running down the sideline, and wasted no time getting in the end zone. And that's exactly what Vineland needed if they're going to want to crawl back into this one. I was talking about how it was going to be tough for them to have to score multiple times here in the fourth quarter. Well, returning one on the kickoff will certainly help the cause. And now it'll be important if Vineland can possibly convert on this extra point opportunity to make it 19-7. Number 3, Samuel Jr. will take the snap. He will hand it off, and they're trying to fight for the touchdown. Did they rule the play dead before he was able to get into the end zone? I believe so. And the extra point opportunity will be unsuccessful from Vineland, but Vineland gets on the board for the first time today as Ruiz runs it all the way back down the sideline and had an electric kickoff return that makes our score 19-6. Once again, we'll take a step off as you're watching BFA Sports presented by RK Chevrolet.
Truckloads of new Subarus have just arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. Our new state-of-the-art facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus are here. Come in now for a great selection. New RK Subarus with 0% financing. Ascent, Outback, Legacy, Forester, Impreza. 0% for 63 months. And you get RK coverage, no charge. Our new facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus have arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. MyRKSubaru.com.
Welcome back, everyone, and if you're just tuning in, you missed an electric kickoff return from Yamiel Ruiz, number 82 for Vineland Blitz. He put up their first points of the day. Score was cut down from 19-0 to 19-6. It was an electric kickoff return from Ruiz, who, like I've been talking about, has just been doing a great job in literally every position he's been put in on the field. My name is Brennan Hurston, and once again, you're tuned in to BFA Sports presentation of this game between the Vineland Blitz and the AC Dolphins here at Gittone Stadium. This is Game 4 of the 4 games. Started off at the taxi level, and the Pee Wee level, varsity level, and now we're ending the day off on the junior varsity teams. And these junior varsity teams, I would say, the most evenly matched teams of the day. They've been a good game so far. Although Atlantic City is leading, Vineland has not made it easy for Atlantic City at all. They've been competing hard all day, as a whistle will be blown before the kickoff. And this will bring it back, and they'll redo the kick. But a lot of props goes out to this Vineland junior varsity team. They have really been competing hard and giving it to Atlantic City. And especially, like I said, Yamiel Ruiz, who has been the star for Vineland so far here today. And you can tell Ruiz, even though, like I said, younger kids here in the junior varsity level, you can tell Ruiz is going to be a really good football player if he sticks with it. An onside kick attempt but this one's going to be well short of the required kicking length, I should say, for the onside kick. So the ball will be spotted at the 44-yard line. The 44-yard line of Vineland. So Atlantic City will come out on offense, and they'll look to respond to that kickoff return by Ruiz. Certainly, if they scored here, it would make it even more difficult for Vineland to come back in this one. And that's exactly what the coaching staff for Atlantic City would love to see. Number 9 for Atlantic City is in there at quarterback still. He's done a great job so far today, as have the running backs for Atlantic City as well. A late substitution onto the field. Right up to the offensive line. Love seeing that from number 90 for Atlantic City. They called his name, he ran onto the field and ran right into his spot on the offensive line. Unfortunately, no gain right there on the play. It will be 2nd and 10 now after the no gain from Atlantic City. And of course, if you're Atlantic City, when you're leading 19-6, you are really in no rush to get these plays off. You're just trying to milk that clock, get it all the way down to 0. And Atlantic City, if they could get some nice runs in here, they could certainly bring that clock down a lot. Miscommunication in the backfield will lead to a loss for Atlantic City. The quarterback, number 9, was handing off, or trying to hand it off to one of the 2 running backs, but the 2 running backs in the backfield kind of crossed into each other. A collision that once again resulted in a loss for Atlantic City. This will bring up 3rd down, 3rd and about 15. And although the time is looking kind of tight for Vineland, if they could get some 2 stops here, maybe keep it around the 4-minute mark, they're definitely going to need to score quickly. But they have some electric playmakers on Vineland's side, in Ruiz and Zinkraff as well. Kinsey has had some big runs himself for Vineland. Quarterback takes a snap, and he is immediately tackled in the backfield. That was an excellent backfield tackle by Noah Daminger. Daminger read that play beautifully, ran right through the hole in the offensive line, and was literally on the tail of the quarterback, number 9. And going to be a timeout called on the field with 5:22 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Atlantic City still leading 19-6 over Vineland. We'll take a quick step off, and we'll be back with more football action coming your way. You're watching BFA Sports, presented by RK Chevrolet.
Truckloads of new Subarus have just arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. Our new state-of-the-art facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus are here. Come in now for a great selection. New RK Subarus with 0% financing. Ascent, Outback, Legacy, Forester, Impreza. 0% for 63 months. And you get RK coverage, no charge. Our new facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus have arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. MyRKSubaru.com.
And welcome back, everyone. It's going to be a long 4th down conversion for Atlantic City. If they want to get a 1st down and keep that clock rolling, it's currently at 5:22 as Atlantic City leads 19-6 over Vineland Blitz here at Gittone Stadium in Vineland, New Jersey. My name is Brandon Harrison. Once again, you're watching BFA Sports on BFA Live Streams, presented by our good friends RK Chevrolet, also RK Subaru, Paramount DesignWorks. The ball will be placed at the 40, or right in front of the 45-yard line, I should say. And you can hear some fans in the stands screaming out to Vineland, one more stop. That's exactly what Vineland needs if they want to make this game close. One more stop and try to march it down the field to cut it down to one possession, but it all starts on the defensive side for Vineland Blitz right here. Let's see if they can come up big. Number 9 snaps the ball, throw down the field, tipped up, attempted catch by one of the Atlantic City offensive players, number 8. It was bobbled up in the air for a while, could have been intercepted, but found its way back to the ground, and great stop from Vineland Blitz right there. They forced the turnover ons down, and now they set themselves up at Atlantic City's 45 with 5 minutes and 15 seconds left to go to potentially cut this down to a one-possession game. And Vineland, once again, can't stress enough how great they've been on defense in this junior varsity game. They've really limited Atlantic City and what they've been able to do. They've done a great job at getting to the backfield. We saw it. What set up that 4th down and long was a great stop by Daminger with a sack in the backfield. Now some substitutions will be made, and I believe a timeout will be called, actually. So another timeout here in the 4th quarter with 5:15 left to go. As they take a timeout, we will take a step off, and you are watching BFA Sports, presented by RK Chevrolet. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Truckloads of new Subarus have just arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. Our new state-of-the-art facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus are here. Come in now for a great selection. New RK Subarus with 0% financing. Ascent, Outback, Legacy, Forester, Impreza. 0% for 63 months. And you get RK coverage, no charge. Our new facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus have arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. MyRKSubaru.com.
The score is 19-6 as the AC Dolphins lead over Vineland Blitz here in Vineland, New Jersey. You're watching BFA Sports, presented by RK Chevrolet. My name is Brandon Hurston. We are back from the timeout as Vineland will get set to start their first play of this possession. It's 1st and 10 for Vineland at the 45-yard line. Zinkraff is in the backfield. Samuel Jr. is underneath center. Zinkraff takes a step back. Kinsey comes across the middle, takes the ball, then hands it off to Ruiz. Ruiz with a stiff arm. He gets to the outside, and he picks up some yards on that play. Nice play design from Vineland Blitz right there. It started with the action from Kinsey Jr., who took the handoff from Samuel Jr., or excuse me, just Kinsey, took the handoff from Samuel Jr., and then handed it off to Ruiz. And Ruiz, we saw, he has a lot of speed. He returned that kickoff, turned on the Jets, tried to turn on the Jets there, but Atlantic City did a good job of containing him. And now a miscue in the backfield. Samuel Jr. couldn't get the toss in to number 23, Leonard Wilson, and that's going to be a huge loss for Vineland. They'll be set up with a really 3rd and long. And that's very unfortunate for Vineland because they were in had an excellent opportunity to convert on that 1st down after the gain by Ruiz, but now they'll have a ways to go to convert this 1st down, and they need to do so as there's only 4 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. The snap and the handoff to Kinsey Jr., and he'll be tripped up in the backfield. And that clock continues to wind down. And the snap to Samuel Jr. He hands it off to Zinkraff, but Zinkraff loses the ball. Who will this be recovered by? Was definitely fumbled on the play. Let's see what the referees rule. And it's going to be a fumble recovery by the AC Dolphins. Vineland Blitz turned the ball over on what was a crucial possession for them. And with 3 minutes and 23 seconds, Atlantic City loves having the ball around the 50-yard line after their defense came up with a huge stop and turnover. I've seen a few turnovers in this game. Vineland also had an interception in the second half as well that was thrown. And now Atlantic City is in a prime position to just run out this clock. 3:23 remains. It's a two-possession game for Atlantic City. The handoff to number 29. 29 bounces off a defender, picks up a few yards on the run. And Vineland will watch the AC Dolphins probably take as much time as they can in between these snaps. These two teams have already used a bunch of timeouts here in the second half. And just like I said, Atlantic City taking their time on offense and really no need to rush it. Nine, the quarterback fakes the handoff, throws it downfield, and it's incomplete to number 6. And that will stop the clock at 2 minutes and about 30 seconds, or 2:27. If you're Atlantic City, not sure if that's the play call you go to right there when you're trying to finish the game out. Could have ran the clock down even more. It's already at 2:30. A run right there probably would have taken under 2 minutes. Then maybe you go for the pass attempt on third down, but hey, they were trying to hit the home run play on that play action pass that already worked for them earlier in this game and led to a touchdown. 9 takes the ball. Fakes the handoff once again, and he'll try downfield once again, but this one's intercepted by Vineland. Number 23 came up with the interception. That was Leonard Wilson. It fell right into his hands. He lost the ball on the return. Fortunately for him, whether it was rolled out of bounds or whether Ruiz, who recovered the ball, was out of bounds, doesn't matter. Either way, the Blitz, they have an interception. And once again, the offense will take the field. Which, once again, not sure why Atlantic City is trying to pass the ball down the field as they lead 19-6. Maybe just want to run the clock down and try to come away with the victory. As now a timeout will be called, I believe. Or if it's just the ref blowing the whistle. But either way, we'll keep things right here on BFA Live Streams. You're watching BFA Sports, presented by RK Chevrolet and RK Subaru. And also have to mention Paramount DesignWorks as well. As our time is winding down here in Vineland, New Jersey. It's been a great day for football. Like I've been saying, beautiful weather for the opening weeks of football. NFL is underway. Can't wait to get home and watch those games, grab some food as well. I'm sure as the other fans in the stands hope to do so as well. Family and friends have been out here all day here in Vineland to support these two teams, these two organizations, all these kids putting in their hard work and effort onto the football field on a Sunday afternoon. Of course, they'll be riding home shortly, hopefully, in their Chevrolets from RK Chevrolet. We know our broadcaster, our friend Al, he drove home in his Chevrolet as well. Just across the way from the field here at Gittone Stadium. Timeout has concluded. 2:10 remains on the clock here in the fourth quarter. The score is 19-6 Atlantic City. They just turned the ball over after a big interception from number 23, Leonard Wilson. Now the snap and the flip to number 82, Ruiz. He is crossing the 50. He breaks a bunch of tackles, and he'll have an open field into the end zone. Ruiz crosses the 5, and he crosses the goal line, and Ruiz is unstoppable in this one. It's another touchdown for Ruiz, another touchdown for Vineland, and with 1:55 left to go, they cut the score down from 19-6 to 19-13. Ruiz has just been the star of the show for Vineland today. He had the kickoff return earlier, and then now out of the backfield, he was tossed a pass from his quarterback, Samuel Jr., and it wasn't like he had an open path to the end zone. He had to fight through a lot of defenders to get that open space down the sideline, and that's exactly what he did. The extra point attempt, hand off to the fullback, and it's punched on in, and the extra point conversion is good. That was number 25 on the play, Michael Spellman, the fullback, who took that one into the end zone. And the lead has really been cut down by Vineland. It was looking like it was going to be, a 19-0 ball game, but then, like I said, Ruiz with the big kickoff return. And now Ruiz with the big run right here. The extra point made it 19-14. And now Atlantic City will have to kick it off to Vineland. Or, excuse me, the other way around. What am I thinking? We're getting near the end of the day. Mistakes are starting to be made. Even though we're getting near the end of the day, Vineland is looking as strong as they have all day throughout all 4 levels. This JV team has really brought a lot of heart and hustle to the Gittone Stadium field. And now the kickoff attempt is underway. This one is kicked. And it gets by Atlantic City. It's a loose ball. Who will come up with it? It's going to be Atlantic City, but boy, did Vineland have a great opportunity to potentially come up with that kick, with the recovery right there. I mean, it got past a few Atlantic City receivers, and Vineland, the couple players were right there in the huddle or in the pile trying to come up with that ball. And if they would have came up with that ball and it was well beyond the 40-yard line, they would have had excellent field position with a minute 50 left to go to try to punch it on in. But now they'll have to rely on the Vineland defense to get a huge stop right here. And with only 1:50 left to go, any first down conversion would probably end the game for Vineland unless Vineland could somehow force a fumble. And on the last possession, we saw Atlantic City going with a lot of passing plays to try to pick up that first down. I would be surprised if they attempt any passing plays here. 2 running backs in the backfield. Number 9 takes the snap. He hands it off to number 3. 3 finds an opening, but is brought down. Great tackle by number 20. cruise for Vineland. There was some space in that hole right there, and number 3 definitely could have found the hole, but Ruiz with a good open field tackle. And now a timeout will be called, and with 1:34 left to go, we will take a quick step off. Once again, you're watching BFA Sports, brought to you by RK Chevrolet. We'll be right back after this.
Truckloads of new Subarus have just arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. Our new state-of-the-art facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus are here. Come in now for a great selection. New RK Subarus with 0% financing. Ascent, Outback, Legacy, Forester, Impreza. 0% for 63 months. And you get RK coverage, no charge. Our new facility is still under construction, but the new Subarus have arrived at RK Subaru of Vineland. MyRKSubaru.com.
We have ourselves a close ball game here with 1:37 remaining at Gittone Stadium in Vineland, New Jersey, between the AC Dolphins and Vineland Blitz. You're watching BFA Sports presented by RK Chevrolet. My name is Brandon Hurston, and Atlantic City currently has possession on a 2nd and around 6 as they lead this ball game, and Vineland is looking to pick up a huge stop and give their offense a chance to maybe have a big play, a miracle, and try to win this game. But once again, it will all start on the defensive side. A flag is on the play, and seems like it will be on the defense on Vineland. Neutral zone infraction on Vineland. And that is not what Vineland wanted on that play, especially on a 2nd and 6. So now it will be about 1 yard to gain for the first down. Vineland will need a big hit in the backfield to try to keep them away from the line of scrimmage. Number 9 hands off the ball. And it's a good run for the first down. Are they still going to mark him short of the first down? The marker on the field is reading as 3rd down, and wrong sport. Referees have not signaled for a first down, so it's going to be 3rd and 1 here. So Vineland yet again has another opportunity to come up with a stop as we now approach under a minute here at Gittone Stadium. Taking as much time as they can off the clock. 9 sets underneath the center, hands it off to number 3. A run for a couple of yards. And let's see where they mark this ball. It's going to be good enough for a first down. So first down is awarded to Atlantic City. And with 30 seconds left to go, that will probably do it for Vineland Blitz unless they can come up with a turnover. Not even sure if Atlantic City will snap the ball before the sound of the horn, which would be the smart thing to do. Number 9 sets up underneath the center, takes a knee, and that will do it. The Atlantic City Dolphins win this one with a final score of 19-14 in what was a great battle between 2 hard-fighting junior varsity teams here at Gittone Stadium in Vineland, New Jersey. And that will do it for us here today at BFA Sports. You've been watching taxi, pee-wee, varsity, and now junior varsity football between the AC Dolphins and Vineland Blitz. Want to thank you all for watching. and make sure you tune in next time when we bring you more sports right here on BFA Live Streams presented by RK Chevrolet. Thank you all again for watching, and have a great rest of your Sunday afternoon.